The 2022 NASCAR Bubba Wheelhouse is easily my favorite release from the original NASCAR line. I absolutely love how they updated his original design. They gave him a beautiful shade of purple here with some great detailing and a great expression. Yeah, this is a pretty on-point eye expression for a 2022 Made in Vietnam item. I especially love the graphic design for him. It honestly looks just like a design you would see on an actual real-world race car if they were to put this design onto an actual NASCAR car instead of course, a Cars 3 Next Gen design. But unfortunately, I've got to say, his metallic 2024 release is probably one of my least favorite items in the metallic NASCAR line, simply because, well, it doesn't seem all that necessary. Just looking at these two, you can tell that the metallic one is honestly barely different, and the original was already somewhat shiny. I don't really think this was a very necessary one to make, and I'm a little disappointed to see that they didn't do a more out there, bright metallic color for him to make him stand apart more from the original. It doesn't stop the fact that this car still looks absolutely beautiful. I just wish that it looked a bit more different from the original. But this item will be great for people that missed out on Bubba the first time around. Anyway guys, welcome back to another review and to another 2024 NASCAR line review. We are now halfway through these guys with 2024 metallic Bubba Wheelhouse. Of course, with this nice metallic color scheme, pretty similar to the original. Other than that, of course, everything is the same. He's still the number 23 instead of 6, still racing for Torqueberry juice instead of Transberry juice from the movies, and he, of course, comes with his little piston cup pit stop barrier. We've got this nice art of the Queen here, and Bubba is, of course, the only character on the back of the package. For some reason, I still don't know why they're using an international style card back for these guys instead of showing you all the other items in the line. Now, unfortunately, I did a lot of searching before this video, and I was not able to find my original NASCAR Bubba Wheelhouse pit stop barrier. I don't know why, but for the other reviews in this series, I have been comparing the pit stop areas to the originals, and yeah, I just couldn't find Bubba's for whatever reason. I have all of my Cars accessories stored in a couple of bins, and unfortunately it was not in any of them, and it really made me realize just how many times they've reused this pit stop barrier accessory. Every time I thought I found the Bubba one, I would flip it over, and oh, it was just another XRS blast wall. Foiled again. Anyway, here is Bubba's, of course, with the Torqueberry Juice logo, racing as number 23, and a consistent pattern I've noticed in the other NASCAR re-releases is the fact that their stickers use lighter shades than the original ones. I'm going to pull up a picture of what the pit stop area looked like in my 2022 Bubba review, and honestly, just looking at this, it certainly looks a bit lighter than what I remember, so we'll have to see if that's the case. Anyway, moving on to Bubba himself, here he is out of the package, and I've got to say, this is probably the first time where I prefer the original fully to the new release. I think that this one looks good. It looks really, really good, but there are some things I just don't like about it, and the first thing is simply the fact that the fading color design isn't really as present here on the fully metallic release. You can see with this Bubba, it starts as sort of a lighter purple and becomes a bit of a darker purple as you move on, and while they did sort of replicate that with some of the other items in the line, you can see they actually did do that here. I just don't think it looks as good. It does honestly look like they made it a bit lighter here and a bit darker here. So props for the fact that they actually did that. That does look pretty cool. It's just a shame it's not as significant as it is on the original release. And while I've been praising Vietnam's eye expressions for this line, I actually think I prefer this eye expression to this one, simply because the original just looks a bit more unique, and this looks a bit more generic next gen. I feel like there's a lot more personality here. I think the size of the eyes also benefits it here. Here, they're just a bit smaller and more beady. But still, again, I think it's a pretty solid looking item. But yeah, I think for the first time so far, I can confidently say I like the original more for those two reasons. You know, the better fading of colors here. Although, again, I really commend them for doing a fading color design here. I think that's pretty cool, but it is a lot more subtle. And again, I definitely prefer the old eye expression, which again, is saying something because Vietnam usually didn't do too well in the eye department until this year with this line. But I just think this is a lot more unique and has a lot more personality to it. regardless, we're going to take away the other Bubba here for just a second so you can get a better look at him. We have this great, really fun bubble design, the TJ on the side there, and I actually really like how his wheels turned out. They've been coloring all the wheels for the NASCAR cars for the first time in this wave, and he has these really nice, vibrant yellow wheels. They're so neon, they totally stand out, and I think I much prefer them to the originals here. And if you just look at the side, you can see, honestly, the yellow details look a lot more vibrant as well. Just looking at the two of these next to each other, the yellow here really pops a lot more than it does on the original. That's another point going to this one. The wheels, the yellow, they look really, really great. And the metallic purple is really nice. Again, I just wish that they made it stand out a bit more. It's a bit too dark of a color to successfully work fully metallic, in my opinion. We got Piston Gap Combustor, Carbon Cyber, and Synergy there. Number 23, Torqueberry Juice written there, of course. As per usual, the spoiler is not metallic, and honestly, I think it stands out a bit too much. At least on camera, it does. In person, it doesn't look that much different. On the back, we've got the logo again, number 23, and a nice look at that metallic purple paint job. There is a look at the other side, where you could really see how they did sort of the fading design with kind of different shades of metallic purple. That's something I have to commend this whole line for. Using a variety of shades of metallic colors, not something we see on metallic diecasts often. The only time I could think of them attempting it beforehand is with Metallic Cal back in 2020. And yeah, it looks pretty solid once again here on Bubba. I think this is still a pretty solid looking item. Probably my least favorite of these new NASCAR items so far, but I think the original Bubba set a pretty high bar to pass. This to me feels the least like a special metallic edition. It just feels like a slightly different re-release, you know? But still, I think it's good, especially if you don't have the original Bubba, and it's certainly a pretty nice looking one. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now. Tomorrow I finally review Avalanche, who's been on my pulse for my next review for like 3 months. It'll be your time to shine tomorrow, Avalanche. You know, before I started this review, he actually fell off of my wall. And I wish I were filming at that time, because I had like 30 million Avalanche puns I could have made. Oh well. Oh no, looks like there was an avalanche. Subscribe. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers.